few individuals have influenced the world and many of today's thinkers like Plato. Hi everyone, in this video we will try to know more about the person who founded Western philosophy and was known as the father of idealism. Many cultures throughout the history spent a lot of time speculating on nature of mind and soul. The most prominent of all are ancient Greek philosophers. Plato, born in 428 BCE in Athens, Greece, was student of Socrates and teacher of Aristotle. With a plethora of interests and ideas from mathematics to political theory, his effect on philosophy and the nature of human beings has spread far and wide over millennia. Plato is a central figure in the history of ancient Greek philosophy and the Western and Middle Eastern philosophies descended from it. Plato's enormous impact on later philosophy, education, and culture can be traced to three interrelated aspects of his philosophical life: his written philosophical dialogues, the teaching and writings of his student Aristotle, and the educational organization he began, the Academy. Plato's Academy was not a formal school or college in the sense we are familiar with. Rather, it was a more informal society of intellectuals who shared a common interest in studying subjects such as philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy. He held the belief that knowledge was not purely the result of inner reflection, but instead could be sought through observation and therefore taught to others. Like Socrates, Plato wished to find something permanent that could be the object of knowledge, but his search for permanence carried him far beyond the kind of essences for which Socrates had settled. Let's talk about the theories he has given. His most famous contribution is the theory of forms, known by pure reason, in which Plato represents a solution to the problem of universals, known as Platonism, also ambiguously called either Platonic realism or Platonic idealism. He is also the namesake of Platonic love and Platonic solids. According to this theory of forms, there are at least two worlds: the apparent world of concrete objects grasped by senses, which constantly changes, and an unchanging and unseen world of forms or abstract objects grasped by pure reason, which ground what is apparent. The idea is that the non-physical forms or ideas are the most accurate reality, and the marvels of the physical world are an imperfect reverberation of the ideal, perfect model that exists outside of reality. Another theory is theory of soul. For Plato, the soul was that which gave life. He considered soul is what rules and controls a person's body. Moreover, he uses this observation in the Alcibiades as evidence that people are their souls. He advocates a belief in the immortality of the soul, and several dialogues end with long speeches imagining the afterlife. Plato believed that the soul or psyche had three parts: the intellectual part or logistikon, the part that focused on wants and desires or epithematikon, and the emotional part or thymoids. A healthy physique would have all three parts in balance. Plato also wrote about sleeps and dreams. Heraclitus is apparently the first who uses the image of sleep to depict a state of cognitive or perceptive imperfection, basically an incapacity to see the reality, whereas Plato later establishes the similar use of the image of dream. According to Plato, some individuals are better able to rationally control their appetites than are others during sleep. Even with otherwise rational individuals, the baser appetites manifest themselves as they sleep. He also identified that dreams were connected with the human's activities through their waking hours and could be linked the nature of their dreams while sleeping. Thoughts and feelings of a violent or evil nature, concluded, could appear in dream, but only people of certain character during their waking hours choose to carry them out. His theory also placed the act of dreaming with individual people and not through an external force such as a god or spirit. He doesn't specifically mention dreams, but it seems clear that he is referring to them and that he anticipates many of the things Freud says about them many centuries later. Now, I want to present the criticism that Plato's work faced: his attack of poetry. Plato attacks poetry and poets for the following reasons. First, Poetry is twice removed from reality and it makes men believe in the imperfection. Second, the poet writes a poem not because he thought for a long time but because he is inspired suddenly. This suddenness cannot be truthful. Poetry contains profound truth, but poetry fails in the test of reason. It cannot take the place philosophy and it cannot make better citizen. Third, poetry affects the emotion and not the reason. It appeals to the heart and not to the intellect. Emotions are temporary and they cannot be safe guides to men. Fourth, poetry is non-moral in character. It teaches both virtue and vice alike. It does not teach moral to the readers. Plato's view of art. As literature is an art, like painting, sculptures, and others, what Plato thought of art in general deserves the first consideration. It is intimately bound up with what is called his theory of ideas. Ideas, he says in the Republic, are the ultimate reality. Things are conceived as ideas before they take practical shapes as things. A tree thus is nothing more than a concrete embodiment of its image in idea. The image of everything, therefore, is its original pattern and the thing itself its copy. As the copy ever falls short of the original, it is once removed from reality. Since art serves no useful purpose in society, Plato views art as useless. Art added neither knowledge nor intellectual value. Even though Plato's philosophy did little to promote science and much to inhibit it, these ideas became the foundation of what we considered early psychology today. The Greeks were so influential that we took their word for soul, psyche, and made it part of the world of psychology.